In this episode, we're talking about a robotic sheep out for revenge against the big bad wolf. It's Ovis Loop. This and more on Indie Game Arcade. Welcome everyone to Indie Game Arcade, a podcast that deep dives into the latest and greatest indie games. My name is Chris.
I'm Joseph.
When's the last time you thought about the big bad wolf, Joseph?
Probably not too long ago, honestly, because I was thinking about Wolf Among Us 2 that's coming out.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. I used to love the comics of was that
the
Fable
comics?
Yeah. I forgot, was it Fable or Fables? It was with an S, right?
I was thinking that too. I think it's an S because is Fable the video game series and Fables is the comics?
I believe so.
The Fable video game series I'm talking about is completely unrelated to this. And then there's Wolf Among Us, which is a video game based on the Fables comic. At least the big bad wolf character. Anyway, go on.
And both of those have games coming out soon. Wolf Among Us and then Fable has a game coming out soon too.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, everything's still connected. We're still, yeah.
Game start!
So let me talk about Ovis Loop, where there is a big bad wolf. Actually, there's a lot of big bad wolves and tiny bad wolves. So Ovis Loop is...
Tiny bad wolves. Sorry, that got
me. So Ovis Loop, I was actually a part of the beta test for this like months and months and months ago, but this is entering early access. Well, it entered early access August 4th, 2025. This was developed and published by LifeFuel. I'm not sure how we're supposed to say it, but it's a tiny little developer team, only 3 team members. Retails right now for $16.99, currently on sale for $13.59. For a quick description, it is a 2D action roguelite where you play as Omega, a robot sheep guardian that lost its memory following a brutal massacre of its flock at the hands of the wolves. Now Omega must survive in a post-apocalyptic world, defending against the wolves and uncovering hidden truths about its origin. So this is a very fluid, very fast-paced action roguelike with a very deep combo system. I'm going to just keep saying the word very, and a very upgrade system.
Very upgrade.
Very upgrade. Much upgrade. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like if we were going to compare this to another game, the closest game to compare this to is probably Dead Cells. I'll start with like the run structure of this thing since it is a roguelike. So the stages are presented with branching maps. Think about it in like a Slay the Spire kind of way too. Like each node on those offers the different choices that you have. So either fights or getting different like upgrades and buffs, risk reward kind of things of like I can do a fight here and hope that I get, some kind of reward at the end, blah, blah, blah. Everything leading up to a boss fight. So you are obtaining new abilities, but only 2 at a time. So you can only hold 2 abilities at a time other than your melee weapon. So you start with like a sword, and it is a big sword. It's like almost not quite like Guts level, but it's for your tiny little size. It is a big sword. And what you do is like, if you can earn like some of the skills and stuff like that, you can get like, they're all like elemental based. So you could get like a lightning kind of strike, a flame strike, a sword cyclone kind of move, or there's even like this one where you can get like a robot that'll show up for a few seconds to either, one of them will like fire bullets at like enemies. There's another one that will like shield you for so many seconds or until it gets like taken out. So there's like lots of different abilities that you can earn, but within those abilities, because like I said, you can only have 2, there are a whole bunch of different upgrades and add-ons for those abilities to completely change how those abilities function. So there's like passives that you can add on to them. And there's also like active things that you can do to make the skills do something different. So like, let's say it's the sword cyclone kind of thing. So you triggered that on its own. And like what it would do is kind of like launch you forward and you're spinning and you're swinging your sword around, right? So like you could get a passive that is maybe increasing your crit chance like while doing that, or maybe it's increasing like the damage that you do, but you can get like an active or something. And maybe it's something like you press another button while you're doing that and it will like create almost like a black hole effect and like suck enemies towards you as you do it so that you're like, you know, hitting more enemies with the attack. So there's a lot of things that you can change about everything, and that is really cool. And I think that's one of the coolest aspects about this game is just how customizable it is. I mean, you're still relying on RNG for all of those things, but just the amount of stuff that you can do is just kind of mind-boggling.
Looks super cool. I'm looking at how fluid the animation of it is. There's this one boss in the trailer I was watching that's like looks kind of like a dragon thing. Yeah. And the animation was so nice with that like that fight alone would have sold me on this game.
This is the kind of game I see you pouring hours into. And when I was talking about that stuff with the two skills that you can get, you also have the ability to do that with your weapon because you can do weapon augmentations. So same thing there, like you're adding, you know, passive things or active things like on your weapon itself. So as a standalone, the last playthrough I did before we recorded was I kept getting crit chance like upgrades and stuff. So I just kept doing that. And like some of them were like 20%. So like you start stacking those and it makes a huge difference. Like I was just constantly doing huge amounts of damage because I was getting tons of crits. So that was cool. You also use like there's a couple different currencies within this game. One of them is called blue pea, which sounds like you're just pissing blue, but that's not what it is. It's like it's like a syringe kind of thing with like a blue liquid or something in it. I don't remember what the P stands for, but it's just called blue pea. So it does look, I guess it kind of looks like you're just injecting blue piss. But that's one of the currencies. And the other is called mantium. So there's two ways to spin those. The mantium crystals are something that you use in between the runs. So like if you die or something, or you get the boss, you go back to your little like central hub kind of thing. Your central sort of hub in between those runs is this like derelict lab that you keep coming back to. And there are these broken pieces of machinery and you use those crystals to fix those machines. And that's where you get the availability to do some like more permanent upgrade things. So like you spend so many crystals and you unlock this one machine that allows you to craft a new weapon or something, which also requires those crystals. Or there's like another machine that you unlock with the crystals, and then you can get like a permanent passive ability that's, you know, it's basically like your skill tree or something like that. And that's the stuff that's going to stick with you between runs. So, you know, it's the meta progression part of the roguelike. So that's where like those crystals come in. The blue pea stuff is the stuff that when you find vendors within the run.
Real quick. Yeah. The blue pea, like I was still thinking about blue pea because it reminded me of the Lies of P skill tree thing that's pea organs. And that
yeah, that's messed up too. Guys, we gotta get better naming conventions than this.
No, we can do
better.
Stay in the gutter just like this. Okay,
fine.
Please.
You and I have been like, we're working on a game. We're working on our first video game. We'll just change the currency that we came up with. We're just going to change it to piss. So
not even the P to guard it.
No, it's just piss.
It's just straight piss. Yeah.
Or we can still keep the crystal part, but maybe piss crystals.
Pistols. No, that's the thing already.
Yeah, that's already a thing. We'll figure it out. We'll workshop it. All right, we'll get piss in there somehow. Anyway.
Great.
So the blue pea stuff, like when you're in the run, you'll run into like vendors and shops and stuff that you can use to buy some of the upgrades and things. You'll earn upgrades and stuff by defeating bosses, like mini bosses and hard enemies within some of the fight like levels and stuff, the little fight nodes. But you will run into vendors and stuff where you can also buy some of your upgrades, or you can buy back HP because you barely heal during fights. I'll explain that more. But that's when that blue pea is utilized, is with those. But you were talking a little bit about like you were watching the combat, and that combat really is, the flow is so solid. You're fast, you have a dash, you have a roll, and that roll can pass you through certain attacks, especially like any laser attacks and stuff. You have a double jump, you have a wall jump, wall ride, parry for some attacks. And like, I didn't even realize that until like I did it by accident with like, there's a ton of projectile weapon enemies like shooting stuff at you all the time. And like, I didn't even realize I could parry stuff. And it was just like me trying to attack another enemy and someone shot at me. And like, I just realized that sword blasted their freaking thing away from me. And I was like, oh snap, I didn't know I could do that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I love parries. So that already I'm excited about it.
There's animation canceling on like baddies and stuff like that. Like, it's not like, a Souls like where a lot of the times if like they start an animation, like they're going to finish it and finish that attack. Like you can cancel it if you get in there. And all the enemies do have tells, which is super helpful. So like, especially like some of the big wolf dudes, you'll see like a little exclamation point above their head and they'll do a little bark right before they do their attack so that you can try to time things right. All that said, though, it doesn't make it easy. This is a difficult game, especially because you will get swarms of enemies. And they do this thing where like you will take out a big wave of enemies and then all of a sudden like all these huge like canisters just rain down from the air and tons more just spill out of them. So
that's cool.
It's just a whole lot at once. A lot of them are using projectile weapons. And healing ain't easy. Like there isn't like healing items or anything that I've seen in the game. It's more of like some enemies when you defeat them will give you back a little bit HP, but like not a significant amount. So let's say that your starting HP is only 75 or something. And if you get hit by like a big enemy, maybe you lose, 10 of that. It's pretty significant, right? And if you kill that enemy, maybe you get back like 1 or 2. It's
wow.
Like, it feels pretty punishing. But that's where like you get to a vendor, and if you have enough of that piss, you can, buy some HP back. You can't fill it all the way back up necessarily if you're really low, but you can buy some back. So
I think what's great about that in my mind is it sounds like there's a lot of opportunity to avoid damage with the dodges, with the parries, with the enemy like action canceling or whatever you were saying. And so with that, this is definitely a game where you don't want to get hit because you are just a squishy sheep boy or girl. I don't know. You're a squishy sheep character.
Squishy sheep robot.
You're fighting all these robot, and you're fighting all these big bad wolves and whatever else. So it's like, yeah, you're going to be squishy. So dodging is going to be the name of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other big aspects of this game that I really enjoy is the story of it is actually really, really good. There's a lot of lore to it, and like way more lore than I would have expected, especially for a game like this. One of the things that you can do too, like when you go to those nodes that are like the fight nodes and stuff, there's a lot of times where you might kill a few enemies. You're running through the level a little bit, doing some platforming before you get to more enemies. Every once in a while, you will find like another sheep that isn't dead yet, but is chained up and dying, and you'll be able to talk to them. They'll tell you a little bit about what's going on, or like through some exchange, you will be able to piece something together. Like I found this one sheep and like your role was like you were supposed to be the protector of this flock, and you don't know what happened. You have no memories, but like this sheep for whatever reason just freaking hates you and keeps saying everything was your fault and you don't know why. But it's like from that one thing that okay, well, I did something wrong. What did I do? And like, you'll run into other dying sheep that are like literally, like one of them I think was like being crucified or something. Like it's harsh. And they'll like say something to you like, I don't blame you. It's not really your fault. And like little tidbits here and there, just like tiny little breadcrumbs of piecing together what's going on. You'll also find like different like actual like objects and stuff around that you can actually click. Like you play this on controller, but you click Y and investigate, and you'll pick up like a piece of paper that has some writing on it that you decipher, or you might find some tracks or something that's like, why would this person have been here? And there's a lot of things that like are piecing together a bigger picture. When I talked about that like derelict lab, that's kind of your hub. The first time that you go there, you can turn on this like big mainframe kind of computer, and there's like 2 or 3 like security camera videos that you can watch and see a little bit of what happened in the past. And there's like this one who I'm assuming is the main bad guy, this like really big wolf who's like a scientist dude, and he's really creepy looking. He's got like a metal
you're talking
mask.
about Dr. Wolf.
Yeah, Dr. Wolf, aptly named. And like, that he's specifically after you for something, and someone else, like one of his minions mentions that like he knows something, like he found something, and Dr. Wolf like immediately kills that guy. And he's like, no one can know about this. And it's just like, oh my God. Like, so the story is crazy. But man, it is good. I was so excited like playing this thing because I did not know like how deep this thing was going to go. And I was just so surprised, so enamored with it. I was very excited once it got out of embargo so we could talk about it and stuff. So yeah, it's great, man. I think you would absolutely love this.
The only disappointing part to me is that it's early access and it's not complete yet. So even if I beat what's there, I'm essentially just playing a long demo. And it's like, this is a game I want all of like right now. And I want to play through it. I want to see what Dr. Wolf's motivations are. I want to see what the story is. It's got a lot of like Nine Souls energy, which I absolutely love that game. And so that's where it's like, this is like Nine Souls, but a roguelike, and all just those two things combined. This could be like game of the year for me when it comes out, but it doesn't look like the full version comes out until next year, which is the only disappointing part. And that I understand why it's happening like this, but man, it just is one that would leave me wanting more immediately.
For sure. And like, I know some of the like roadmap for this is like right now there's 2 difficulty modes coming out of early access. There's going to be a bigger expansion of that. Like there's going to be like a very specific hard mode that's going to be quite a bit bigger. There's going to be more weapons, more skills, more module and upgrade systems added to it, more scenario and story-based events to flesh everything out. So I almost wonder, like in the early access, if you can't fully beat the game yet. I'm not entirely sure, but who knows?
I was looking through the early access just notes, and I don't think so, because all it says is there are 3 levels you can play, or 3 stages and 5 types of weapons.
Got it.
Along with the limited version of hard mode. So they're going to be expanding everything as it goes through early access, planned for a full release a year from now. So yeah, I think it's going to be just like, you're going to get a good taste of what you're getting yourself into, but I don't think the full game is there yet. Yeah. Story wise.
It's so cool though. We didn't even talk about the pixel art. It looks so good.
Oh, it looks amazing.
Yeah. It even has like a sense of a retro feel to the character designs a little bit, which I really, really like. Like, if you're just looking at the sprites alone, they very much feel reminiscent of something from like a pixel perfect Super Nintendo game or something. But like, man, they move so fluidly.
When you start seeing that animation, that's when it like becomes like a step above.
Yeah. Rich splashes of color, a great soundtrack that's just rocking. It's kind of like a chiptune, but like chiptune influenced rock, or sometimes hip hop beats, like depending on what kind of stage you're in and stuff. I was just vibing with this whole thing, man. I had a great time. Can't wait to see what 1.0 looks like next year.
Yeah, I probably played through the demo at least just to get a taste of it.
Yeah, you're going to
love
love
it. For now,
it.
at least.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Like, I have no doubt.
Power up!
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode so far, do us a favor and throw us a like, a follow, and a share, or share the whole podcast with folks who love indie games so we can get more of these game recommendations out there and support indie game devs. We also have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/nerdsloth where you can catch us playing more indie games or check out our top 5 and top 10 series for even more indie game recommendations because we believe there's an indie game out there for everyone.
Combo!
Let's talk about some other indie games we've been playing this week. Joseph, I have a very important message for you.
Okay.
They made a game for all of us neurodivergent kids that grew up obsessed with shiny rocks, and that is Gemporium, where you play as this little mole who inherits his grandma's gem shop, but then you find out that she owes $1 million to a literal loan shark.
Oh,
so
no.
you have so many days to pay that money back. And you do that by going into the mine connected to the shop, mining for jewels while trying not to break them, refining them, polishing them, and then selling them to a whole bunch of quirky anthropomorphic characters. It is so fun. It is like, it's quirky. It's a quirky, cozy little game, but like, man, I played so much of this game. Oh man, I spent way too much time playing this one. Where things get more complicated with this though is that the tools and the fact that like you're on a timer each day too. So like you'll need to spend some of that money that you're earning on like bigger bags so you can carry more of those jewels because like right out the gate, you can only carry one. So like, obviously that's not going to cut it. So like, as you earn money, you got to buy, better tools and upgrades to those tools and stuff so that you can mine faster, get more gems, refine them and polish them much quicker. And then you can be better at like things like haggling and selling those gems and stuff because your shop opens at a very specific time of day. And if you aren't there to sell those gems, you can lose shop reputation and reputation with the customers, which means you're going to lose out a percentage of sales and stuff. And also, I mean, if you're just not there, you're not making money, which you need to. Also, each customer shows up and wants a very specific gem. And there's always a specific gem that they completely don't like, but you can't skip customers. So it's like if someone comes and they want an amethyst and they hate citrine and all you have is like citrine, you're going to be kind of screwed or you're going to have to just like close the shop and just not sell them anything because you'll tank some of your shop reputation for selling them something that they hate, right? But it's like, if they want amethyst, they hate citrine, but you have, let's say, obsidian, you can try to convince them to buy the obsidian instead of an amethyst, and it won't be so bad, and you can still make some money.
This doesn't sound super cozy, just from all the things that you're saying I have to do and keep track of.
Well, here's the thing though. It's the visuals very cozy vibe. And like
Sure.
you get into a flow state with it. And I think that's where that kind of comes from. Cause man, at some point I was getting into that mine. I was blasting through that rock with my hammer. I was getting in there. I was chipping the rest of the rock away at lightning speed, polishing these things. I was doing it in like seconds, man. I was getting so fast at all of this stuff. And I don't know, man. There's something about it. I had a lot of fun playing this. There's like a few other little things too about it that are kind of fun. And I feel like I got trolled a little bit at one point. There's artifacts that you can find too while you're like down there in the mines and stuff. And I found something. And what's interesting is like when you find a gem or something, when you first like excavate it, you don't know what it is, right? It just looks kind of like a sort of a pinkish rock or something that you pull out. With the artifacts, it's sort of like a blackish gray thing. And then there's like clay stuck to it, it looks like. So you don't know what you have really until you get it back to your desk and you're cleaning it off, like chipping off the excess rock and then starting to polish. That's when you find out what you've got. So I found one of the things that was an artifact and I was like, oh, this was the very first artifact I found. And I'm just like, oh, cool. what's this going to be? I'm kind of excited to find out. And I get it back and I start chipping away. I'm like, this shape looks kind of familiar. It's like a slightly more open L shape. What is this going to be? It was a flip phone. I was like, really? I got so excited over a flip phone. Why is it a flip phone? But yeah. So, and then some of the other artifacts I found, there was like a thimble and
do the artifacts do anything?
No, I at least not that I could tell. Aside from I put them in a little display case. I think there was like a can of soup or something. So I don't know. But like based on that, I think it's showing a little bit that this might be a post-apocalyptic world in some aspect of like, you know, humans used to be there, but they're not anymore. And now it's all anthropomorphic animals. But I don't know. It was a fun little game. I had a lot of fun with it. It just felt very satisfying and very wholesome. And there's so many funny, quirky little characters. Like I said, the lone shark is an actual shark who shows up in a suit with a suitcase and sunglasses on. At one point, there's a bat. Well, it's not a bat. It's 3 bats in a trench coat, which like made me laugh out loud. Yeah, it's great, man. As somebody that, you know, as a kid, I was completely obsessed with polished rocks and still am to this day, apparently, because I took my daughter to a little tourist trap place a few weeks ago and we walked in and we found one of those wooden barrels just full of multicolored shiny rocks. And I tried to resist temptation, but then I couldn't. I had to shove my hands all the way in and touch all the rocks. So
you got to find the best rock too.
Oh my God, dude. And you can't find the best rock in there because they're all the best. There's so many colors and they're so smooth.
There's always a best rock. Never let anybody tell you otherwise.
They're so smooth. I even have 2 rocks that sit on my desk while I work. I've got one really smooth, completely black rock from Lake Superior here. And then I have one really rough white pumice rock from Maui from Rochelle's family's place. So I have both of those sit like right there on my desk, right by my mouse at all times. And I frequently pick them up because I don't know, neurodivergence and rock obsessions go hand in hand, I think. So
I guess so.
So man, I was obsessed with this game in a weird way. It was developed by Merge Conflict Studio, which is a little 5-person indie team based out of Texas in your neck of the woods. So it's out now, released on August 7th for $7.99, and it is just a fun little experience. So if you're like me, if you love shiny rocks, man, this is the game. They made it just for you.
It sounds pretty intricate and like a more actionable version of Animal Crossing where you're having to pay off that loan. But in this case, pay off a $1 million debt of your grandma to a loan shark, which is really fun.
It's very funny.
Yeah. Like, I was not sold on it when you had said cozy and just like first looking at it, but then the more I looked into it and the more like mechanical it got, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I could get into this.
Yeah, man, it's really cool. I think you could give it a shot.
I'll go polish some rocks right after this.
Hell yeah, man, polish that rock.
Other games that I played, I spent a little more time in Rusty Rangers, that game that we brought up, or you brought up like many episodes ago.
It's been a while now.
It has been a while, but still it's like fresh on my mind because I love the 80s cartoon sort of styling of it, or at least like the I don't know, just the inspirations that are clearly from 80s cartoons, like Toxic Crusaders, especially.
Big
like
time.
I see one of the main characters in it, at least back at your base, is literally like a green person with like a mop like thing. And like, all right, well, that's just like really, I mean, it's a woman instead of a guy, but it's like, okay, you can see all of that in a lot of these characters. And that just makes me really happy to see that. And also the gameplay is really solid. So that part is what's keeping me around. So I've been playing more of that one. I've been playing more Peak, obviously. Like Peak is like a daily thing for me. I've gotten so many of the achievements now, especially now that they released the new Mesa DLC.
So what is that? Because I have not played for quite a while and I wanted to ask you what that was and what it's like.
So Mesa is a different peak you can climb, different mountain you can climb. Or not can, sorry, you have to, I guess, to my knowledge. And it's taking the place of the ice one, at least for now, as of this release. So your third level is going to be the Mesa, and that is like you're walking through basically a desert and shielding yourself from the literal sun. Like you have to stay in the shadows or else you're just going to start burning unless you have something like an umbrella, which is an item you can find, or some sunscreen, various things to prevent burn. That's part of it. And then once you get to like the main, you escape, you're trying to first like weave around this like sandstorm that comes up in the form of like a tornado almost. And that will literally like lift you up and just like throw you and most likely kill you, or at least throw you into some cactus. You have to avoid cactuses because those will stick to you. You can sometimes pull thorns out yourself depending on where they are, or you can have friends pull them out for you. Because what thorns do, like I said, I love that status bar. Thorns are just another thing that takes up status bar space, where it's like this little green bar that fills up and has like the little like cactus spikes over it. Yeah. So you know immediately like, oh crap, like most of my bar right now is thorns. I'm just full of cactus spines. And that is another like layer added to the fun of this game and like the challenge of this game at times. There was one time where I was playing with Callie and she got stuck in the sandstorm. But what it did was like immediately when it picked her up, it like slung her into a cactus and she couldn't get out of the cactus. It was like rotating around her and like pushing her into it. So she just became like, oops, all spikes. Like, oh, no. And her character died from that. So I had to res her at the top of the thing. But there's also scorpions that are on this level. There are ant lions, which are gigantic ant lions. Whoa. I won't tell you where they are because part of the fun is like finding those for yourself. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else on that. There's dynamite, which are triggered by proxy. So if you get close to them, you'll start hearing like the psst. If you don't see it first, you'll hear the fuse going off and it will blow up like everything around it. It doesn't blow up landscapes. It's not gonna like carve different landscape or anything, but any items or whatever that are around it will immediately get like burnt or whatever, or just like slung away. You can pick up dynamite and you do have time to like throw it before it explodes. So if you just need to get it away from yourself or whatever, you can do that. But that's always like have I heard it fast enough to where I can turn around and pick it up and throw it without, just making myself blow up.
Is it like, is the explosion of the dynamite like a large radius to the point where like you have to throw it or else you're not going to get away?
It's not like a huge radius. I would say it's about the size of a, like maybe if you were in like a bubble, one of those bubbles that you can like roll around in. Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Yeah. So it's not huge, but it's enough to where like if you're close to it, you're going to feel it or, you're going to pass out from it. So yeah, that's what this expansion has added at least. I might be forgetting some things. I probably am. Oh, it also like on the last level, and this doesn't seem to happen all the time on the volcano where you're climbing out of it. And maybe this happened before and I just didn't trigger it. Somehow we triggered like the lava is moving faster or the lava starts moving up. And like when I had climbed through it multiple times before, it was like, okay, the only fear is like falling in the lava or whatever. But now, like when Callie and I were playing, as I lifted her up, like to bring her up a part of the mountain, an alert came up on our screens. It was like lava rising, and then it's like the lava just literally started chasing us up. And so we had to really book it. And I haven't had it happen to me since. So I don't know if it's like an all the time thing or if we just were taking too long right there or what, but something triggered that lava to start chasing us and it was really scary.
That's amazing. I love that. I heard too, I don't know if you had seen this, that either they added or are working on adding cannibalism into the game.
Oh, yeah. That's in there. Yeah. So
oh my goodness.
If you get hungry enough, your companions will start to look like food to you. Like they'll literally, at least their heads will turn into like a chicken, like, let's say a chicken or something. I don't know if there's other things they can turn into, but yeah, if you get too hungry, then your companions will turn into food and you can eat them and you get an achievement badge, like a cannibalism badge or something for doing so.
I love that. Oh man. I wonder if like usually you get some sort of like new unlock with like whenever you get those badges and stuff.
Yeah. Any badge will get you some kind of cosmetic unlock.
I don't know what the cosmetic would be for that, but I would love it to be like a Hannibal Lecter mask. That would be so good.
That'd be amazing. I don't know what it is. the achievements that I've unlocked that are like kind of
Difficult,
like cool that I got recently were like I finished it in under an hour by myself.
Nice.
I did it only eating natural food, so I couldn't eat any packaged foods or anything, or drink any like energy drinks or anything. I had to only eat stuff I found on the land. And I did it without putting anything on the mountain, or without getting on the mountain by putting anything in it, like a like any of those like rope things or the pythons or anything. You can't put anything on the mountain. So it's like I got that one as well, and I was pretty happy with it. And I just kind of lucked into one where I beat the Mesa level with 10% or less burn, or maybe it was like with under 10% burn level, which is hard to do because that sun is after you all the time. So that one, I didn't even know that I wasn't going for that specifically, but I just happened upon it because I was like, oh, I guess I didn't really get burnt on that all the way through it. So yeah, it's still having a lot of fun with it. Since the map changes every day, it gives me like a unique challenge every day, and it really kind of is a good start for my like day of gaming or something, to just do a peak run and just see how far I can get and kind of get my brain working.
That's one I want to play some more of, get back into. I haven't played it for so long now, but yeah, I'm excited, especially hearing about that update. That sounds so cool. I'm really interested. I'm interested now to see what all else they're going to do. Like, it sounds like maybe they'll keep swapping out the different, maps every once in a while for like a new zone or something. That is very exciting to me. And, as the seasons go on and stuff, I'm excited to see what kind of things they do. Like, will fall bring something specific? Will winter bring something specific? Like, yeah, I think there's so much potential for this game.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's like anything else they add, I'm completely in for. They're treating it so well, and it's still being received like so highly. I can jump into that game anytime and have a good time with it.
Final round.
Let's talk about some upcoming indie games we're excited about. I've got two right here. September 4th is bringing Kejora. This is one that's been on my list for a while, and it didn't have a release date for the longest time, and now it does, and I'm excited because it's soon. This is a hand-drawn 2D story-driven adventure game about a village stuck in a time loop with some horror elements to it for sure. It looks like an old school anime in its design. Somewhat Studio Ghibli, I think, in some aspects.
Yeah, especially with the big mouths that I'm looking at.
Exactly. So I am so excited for this one to release. I've been waiting for months for this one. It looks gorgeous. I love the very subtle like horror and stuff to it. Like, I can't wait to see what this is going to be. The other one is Forge of the Fae. This doesn't have a release date yet. I literally just heard about this one this morning. This was, it was just announced recently, is a stunningly beautiful pixel art JRPG inspired by a Celtic folklore. The art style reminds me a lot of Sea of Stars and Chrono Trigger, so I'm 100% going to be following this one. Like, those are, aside from roguelike deck builders, this style of JRPG, the pixel art kind of ones like Sea of Stars, are my other favorite style of game. So can't wait to see what this is going to offer.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshot or trailer of it. It looks super good. The animation, fantastic. And like mixed in with the awesome pixel art of the characters, like even the background animation is just stellar.
The UI looks pretty good too. Like, I like that you get the big character cards and stuff. So
I see that. Yeah, that looks really cool. Yeah. Wish list.
Perfect.
What one I wanted to bring up is actually a horror game. Believe it or not, but it's it's a horror game in a way that's just like really goofy and like psychological twisted. It's called Bad Cheese, and it is like
what?
It's like an obvious like. I don't know that this will last because it feels like too close to like Disney property.
Is it a Mickey
kind of
Mouse
deal?
Thing? Well, I mean, it's public domain now, so it's.
I know, but like I thought like Mickey with the gloves wasn't or something. I don't know what the rules are, but like there's even like a Pluto kind of.
Oh, I'm looking at it now.
Equivalent,
interesting.
Like a goofy looking guy, but anyway, the animation looks really cool, but it's very twisted, and that's what I'm like really digging about the style of it.
Yeah, so this reminds me of like if it's almost like, oh my God. Okay, this is follow me for a minute. Almost looks like a first-person horror game if Alex Pardee was told to make a Disney parody horror game. Are you familiar with Alex Pardee's artwork?
I don't know who that is, or else that might be more relevant to me.
Okay. If you look up Alex Pardee, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. Any of those old emo kids that used to listen to The Used, you'll know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can see that. I see one image of Bart Simpson holding his own eyes with his tongue becoming a creature. Yeah. Okay, I can see that style being very similar.
Really grotesque looking warped stuff. Yeah, man, this is cool. He actually has some artwork that is actually very similar to this game. Actually, now that I'm looking through some of his artwork, but anyway, back to the game. This looks insane. Oh my God.
It just looks so weird that I couldn't help myself. Like, I wouldn't even consider it horror as much as it is just like really twisted.
Yeah.
But I also don't know like what the actual story of it is. The description's funny though. It's like Bad Cheese is a psychological horror inspired by the eerie charm of 1920s animation. Step into the tiny paws of a mouse spending the weekend at home with the dysfunctional dad while mom's away. Be on your best behavior and keep daddy happy.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So a lot of it might just be like kind of head game kind of deal. Like it might not be like actual reality. It might just be like a battle with emotions or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was making me think of like a Binding of Isaac kind of way.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. Yeah, this looks nuts. Wow.
Yeah, it just looks weird. It's coming out on September 1st and it doesn't look like it's early access. It'll just be like a full release. So I'm definitely going to try it, whatever it ends up being. It looks crazy.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I might want to try this out too. I like the look of it, man. Good poll. This is good. Yeah, it definitely has some like content warnings with it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I have no
big
doubt.
Time.
It looks like it's got like a first person shooter kind of aspect to it, but also like a walk around kind of opening stuff, sim. Discovering mystery. Yeah. Walking sim with some FPS light to it. I don't know. It looks cool. I'm going to try it at least.
Heck yeah.
The other one I wanted to mention, less fun, I won't say less fun, less weird, is DemonSchool, which is coming out on September 3rd. And that one is a tactical RPG that is about literally you are like demon kids who are in, I don't know if it's high school or college, but it's a demon world. I guess it's college because you're navigating through university life on a mysterious island, and it's a turn-based tactical RPG. And it's just, I like the animation of it. It looks cool.
Man, okay, so this is one that I've been waiting for forever, and I didn't realize it finally got a release date. Yeah, man, it looks so good. It's supposed to have some some similarities to Persona, like that series for sure.
Okay. I wonder if that's like anything with combat or just relationship building wise or what.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've heard so many good things about this. So like I had been hearing about this from other creators and stuff like that since the first Next Fest this year, and I love the art style of this. Very comic book.
I didn't realize that it was coming out either until I saw that, like, as I was scrolling through like upcoming games, I saw one that was already on my wish list, and it was this one. So I was like, oh, cool. That's coming out real soon.
Yeah. Usually I like with all these and stuff, I usually keep these on a very specific, like I have a little notepad and stuff. And this one definitely slipped through. I'm very excited now. Hell yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Weirdly different polls.
Hell yeah. I'm so excited now. Oh, you just made my day. Woo!
I know how much you're looking forward to that weird Mickey bad cheese one.
Oh, man, I can't wait for some bad cheese. I think I ate some for lunch, actually, because my stomach hurts.
Game over.
Hey, if you had a good time listening to this episode, stick around for the bumper to learn how you can help support the show and all the things we do here at Sloth Creative. You can also check out the show notes for our link tree, which will take you to our social media, Discord, subreddit, merch store, all the other places. Get in touch with us and let us know what indie games you're playing and help us elevate these games so we can help support indie game devs. But that's game over for us. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
And we'll continue on the next episode.
Continue.
Indie Game Arcade is recorded and produced by Sloth Creative. If you're looking for more gaming content, head over to youtube.com/nerdsloth for indie game let's plays and recommendations. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/nerdsloth, where you can select a pledge and receive access to hundreds of hours of bonus content from everything at Nerdsloth Creative. If you're an indie game developer and would like us to review your game or explore other opportunities, send an email to nerdslothcreative@gmail.com with the subject line Indie Game Arcade. Thanks for listening, and keep supporting indie game devs.